Why is the dinar rate fluctuating? It's because it's being done on purpose. Why is it there, telling the Iraqi citizens the exchange rate is under pressure? The GOI wants it to come out. Global financial integration has been on Iraq's path. Even with the politics side, they're still talking about banking and restructuring. You've got to realize the fiscal policy and the monetary policy are two separate issues. A message to Yemen, Dubai, and Washington. Rafadain 1 is a final attempt to cut off the arms of political money and whitewash international reputation. The reforms are ongoing and planned out to 2027. The reforms are nowhere near complete. Plus, SO2-0022 is not implemented fully and will take additional time. ISO 2-0022 is the only currency policy that has bearing on the project and focuses on messaging and digital mapping that hasn't even begun. We are looking at 2027 at the earliest. Venezuela has deep ties with China, Russia, and Iran. As long as they were holding hands with China and Russia, the Western Hemisphere didn't get too excited. But when they started holding hands with Iran, the currency administration said, no, 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 no. These relationships give non-Western powers a foothold in the Western Hemisphere, traditionally influenced by the U.S. The U.S. was not having it. Venezuela holding hands with Iran was totally out of the question. The U.S. said, okay, you crossed the line. That's it. We re-coming to get your ass, and we re-going to bring you back to the U.S. to stand trial. Venezuela is a country the world cannot afford to lose. Just like Iraq. Obviously, the rate change is waiting for the government to be formed, and they can move forward. I'm looking for how fast are they going to do the presidential session of parliament? How fast are they going to do the prime minister? I'm looking for them to re-select Soudani. Then, I'm looking for him to re-select his cabinet. Both gets the formation of the government done extremely quick. Trump Street in the heart of Tehran. A video sparks widespread controversy amid escalating protests. Quote, a video widely circulated on social media showing a protesting citizen sticking a sticker bearing the name of us. President Donald Trump on a street sign in the Iranian capital, Tehran, has sparked a wave of reactions and controversy. The video shows a person covering the original street name with a new sticker bearing the words Trump Street. A move that some observers considered an expression of rejection of the Iranian authorities. The monetary reform seems to have a constipation clog. That constipation is Iraq. Iraq has not released the new exchange rate. Iraq is in charge of the monetary reform, but he's not doing anything. Granted, he did everything to get us to this point, but he's not releasing the new exchange rate. Why? Because that would trigger everything off. You know who he's loyal to, Maliki. You think Maliki wants Iraq to have purchasing power to its currency? Of course not. Because if that happens, they have no way to steal the lower notes. Soudani, ending UNAMIA's work, means full international recognition of Iraq as ability to manage its own affairs. Syria has taken away to zeros. Is it possible Iraq will do that? Iraq says they will first lift the purchasing power and then delete the zeros, a very different approach. Along the way, at some time, they will have to pull the trigger on the reinstatement project and get it done for any real revitalization of the financial sector to be successful. They actually came out in recent months and outlined the entire plan for us all to see. It states first the removal of the zeros, which leads to a revaluation, and then a new peg and reinstatement. Enough said. What we're looking for is the timing and completion of the government. What you want to observe is how fast they can do it. They're suggesting formation is happening at record speed. After the new rate will float up to the real effective exchange rate. Yeah, this is the whole purpose. Question: or will the adjust to the rear first and then float? No, you have to have a float to get to a rear. You can't have a rear to get to a rear. Today, the process of replacing the Syrian currency begins. U.S. Treasury, all of them validating, praising Iraq. Iraq enters 2026 is not as being hopeful. It's prepared. I believe it's stable. I believe it's positioned. What they've done hasn't been terribly loud, but it was deliberate. I think it's here. The dollar is breaking the dinar's backbone. Late decisions are opening the gates of hell on Iraqis' pockets. Quote, over the past 2 or 3 days, the dollar has risen again on Iraq's parallel market, reaching nearly 150,000 dinars per $100, while the official rate remains fixed at 1,320 dinars per dollar. The Iraqi government is slightly frightened, and with good reason. We encourage you to connect the dots, and it looks like we have a lot of dots to connect. Iraq has suddenly become cautious about their agenda after what the administration did to Venezuela. The news media is already picking up on Iraq's slight changes and responses to the fact that this administration is very different than the previous democratic administration. Thank you for watching.